Welcome to
Canadian Doenjang!
Hi, I'm Cindy.
Hi, I'm Heejoo.
And today we're going to make a slightly non-traditional Korean recipe. We're going to make a boneless Gamjatang.
Ooh, boneless.
Yeah. Because for people like me who have arthritis in their hands, sometimes holding onto the chopsticks to pick off all the meat off the bones, as delicious as it is, can be a little hard.
Actually, even for people who don't have it, I have a very hard time, so I end up using my fingers and I get very messy when I eat.
That I never tried. So I decided to take all the ingredients for Gamjatang except for no bone. So this is a shredded pork, and I made this the night before by taking a pork loin and sticking it in a baking pan with about 1.5 to 2 cups of broth. I actually used 1.5 cups of broth and 1/2 cup of cooking wine, some salt and pepper, and then stuck it in the oven for about 1.5 hours. And then you take it out and then you let it cool a bit and shred it with a fork like we did before. Let's talk about the rest of the ingredients. Okay. So we have the potato. That's where we get part of the name.
Yeah, that's a mystery. I don't know if that name comes from actual potato 감자, or I don't know, I heard that that name comes from the actual meat or something, but who knows? If you know, please let us know.
And then we have cabbage. Now you're gonna chop this up into bite-sized pieces. We have the gnocchi mushrooms, a Korean pepper, some perilla leaves. I use about 14, so those are the main ingredients. And then to make the sauce, to make the flavor of the soup, you're going to have either water or a veggie broth, some fish sauce, some gochujang sauce, or sorry, red pepper sauce. As I say it half in English and half in Korean.
It's gochujang sauce, yes.
Some soybean paste, fermented soybean paste. 6 cloves of garlic, which I've already minced here. 1/2 tablespoon of ginger, which I've already minced. And some soju. You can also use rice wine if you don't have soju on hand.
And you can drink a little bit while you cook as well.
You can do that as well, or drink it with your soup. Although this soup actually makes a really good hangover soup.
Oh yeah, Gamjatang.
That's how I was introduced to it in Korea. And then we have the red pepper powder. And this is the one ingredient I only use so far for this soup. This is perilla seed powder. So making the soup is super easy. We're just gonna mix up the sauce and then go over to the stove. So let's make the sauce.
All right.
So we're gonna start with the red pepper powder, or gochujang. And you're gonna put 3 tablespoons in. And then you're gonna put 3 tablespoons of fish sauce. Three tablespoons of the soju. It's just easier. We're gonna put a tablespoon of this in.
Gochujang.
Yep. And then we have 1/2 tablespoon of the soybean paste.
Doenjang. Our show name, Doenjang.
And then the garlic.
And ginger.
And the ginger. The only thing I don't add in here that is in the sauce is a little bit of salt, because I'll salt it to taste, because sometimes I find like some soybean pastes are a little saltier than others, so sometimes I put more salt and sometimes less salt into the soup. And we're gonna go make the soup.
All right, let's go.
Because I've been a little lazy today, we're gonna actually make our own vegetable stock. Or we didn't make our own vegetable stock. I'm just putting a cube of vegetable stock in the 10 cups of water and turning it on. And there's one last ingredient that we talked about into the sauce, and that's the ground perilla seeds. So we're gonna add that in as well. can also sprinkle some on the top,
Yeah.
but I put 3 tablespoons into the actual.
Yeah.
Just make sure you get all the sauce out. So it's at a boil. So I've turned it down just a little because we don't need it to be boiling too furiously. And we're gonna add the meat. Now you wanna add this gently and do it away from you so you don't splash yourself. Because there's nothing worse than being splashed with hot, spicy soup.
Ow, my eyes!
And then you're gonna add the potatoes. Now I usually add these in by hand because otherwise you are going to splash yourself. We're just gonna quickly chop up the cabbage into bite-sized pieces. You don't need to do this in any sort of specific size, just a size you feel comfortable eating. So it's quite full, but the cabbage is going to melt down once it gets into the liquid. And then you don't have to put quite this much cabbage in. I just like lots of cabbage in my soup. So you want to just kind of stir it down a little bit. And then you're going to bring it back to the boil. So I'm going to turn it up to medium-high and put a lid on. And now you're going to once it comes to the boil again, you're going to turn it down to medium-low and simmer it for 30 minutes, 25 to 30 minutes. Okay, so now it's been boiling for about 25 minutes and we're going to add in the mushrooms. Now I've cut the bottom off the mushrooms and washed them, and we're just going to pull them apart. Basically just want to make sure everything's submerged. Okay, we're just going to slice these. Don't have to slice them too fine. I slice them maybe about 1/2 centimeter wide, and then just stick it in. And then again, I'm just going to slice the pepper fairly fine.
This spicy pepper, yeah?
It's a slightly spicy pepper. It's not overly spicy. Don't worry if it's not completely mixed because you can do that later. You just want to make sure everything's covered. We're going to put the lid back on and let it simmer for another 10 minutes. Okay, so it's ready and it's time to eat.
Yay, the favorite time of the show.
Jen, come join us. Come eat.
Okay.
Okay, so Heejoo, let me serve you some soup.
That's a big pot.
Thank you.
It is a big pot.
This,
A lot.
this will last you for days. It's gonna be like the easiest to eat gamjatang ever.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't have to pick it off the bone. The meat's already done.
Although I do like the experience of eating the bone, like the meat out of the bone. I like
Yeah.
that experience.
There's something like hunter primal about like
Hey, thank you, Cindy.
No
Thank
problem.
you.
Enjoy, everyone. Let's
Looking
try
forward
it.
to the taste. Mmm.
Oh, I see what you mean by the perilla. It gives it a different flavor for sure.
Yeah. Kind of a slightly nutty flavor.
It's spicy.
It is spicy.
It's a lot lighter than the restaurant version.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a very light, clean taste. And spicy.
So that's how you make a boneless gamjatang, and it's quite quick and easy, especially if you make a big batch of the pork loin beforehand. After you shred it, you can freeze it and then just take the portions you need. And if this is too much, because this is a big portion, because like I say, I often take it to lunch with me, just have all the ingredients and you'll have something, a serving size for 4 to 6 as opposed to 8 to 10. Okay, we'll see you next month. Keep watching Canadian Doenjang, everyone. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.